When buying a new car makes sense. Buying a new car is typically frowned upon by money nerds. Personal finance experts everywhere will trumpet the error of buying a brand new ride so quickly and fiercely that it will leave your ears ringing. I'm not a fan of buying new cars myself. In fact, I've only done it once, and that was under some unique circumstances. Basically, the federal government and my state government offered some incredible incentives that made my Nissan Leaf cost less than most gently used cars. We'll talk more about those incentives to purchase electric vehicles below. Why buying a new car typically doesn't make sense. Why are new cars not up my alley? Well, the largest cost of owning cars is depreciation. Although we tend to place a lot of importance on the price of a gallon of gas and how much fuel we use in a typical month, that's a drop in the bucket of the overall cost of ownership. It's not how much you spend on fuel or oil changes or even the cost of your car insurance that is demanding the most from your monthly budget. AEA reports that depreciation of a vehicle is roughly 36% of the overall cost of your vehicle. That percentage will be even higher if you buy a new car every few years. That's why money nerds will often recommend that you buy used, to sidestep the steep cost of depreciation. Other costs get squashed if you buy used as well. Taxes and insurance will cost you quite a bit less if you choose to drive older cars and avoid buying fancy new ones. But isn't it expensive to repair a used car? Repair costs will almost certainly be more frequent on an older vehicle than on a brand new one. And that means more money out of your pocket to have work done on your vintage ride. But you might be surprised to find out that annual repair costs on older cars really aren't all that bad, according to Consumer Reports. And if you confine your vehicle shopping list to only include cars with high reliability ratings, you'll find that repair costs are actually pretty minuscule. Who knew that a 10-year-old Toyota will likely only cost you $420 a year in repairs? But enough about how great used cars are. When does buying a new car make sense? If you place high importance on the newest safety features. One of the biggest reasons people opt to buy a new ride is the increased number of helpful new safety features. From backup cameras to stability control to the possibility that your car can safely drive itself, safety features have come a long way in the last 10 years or so. If you have kids, newer safety features are often an even bigger concern. These new features really do save lives and provide peace of mind to drivers. This could, of course, be turned into an excuse to buy a new car every few years. But if having some of the newest safety features on your vehicle is something you place a lot of importance on, then it might make sense for you to purchase a new car instead of a used one. You plan on owning the car for at least 10 years. This is a solid reason to buy new. I'd still encourage you to purchase a well-loved used car and to drive it for the next decade. But the longer you plan to own a new car, the less of a strain it puts on your finances. One of the main issues that come with buying a new car is the desire to buy another new one every 4 or 5 years. And since most buyers are financing their vehicle over 5 or 6 years, they owe more than the car is worth for almost the entire length of the loan. And they never get to experience years where they don't have a car payment. If you can buy a new vehicle with a loan term of 48 months or less, and you can keep that car for a decade or longer, your budget won't be nearly as traumatized by that new car purchase. You will be going electric. You can certainly opt to buy a used electric vehicle, but EVs have come a long way in the last 5 years. So a new EV will have a longer range and better features. And the federal tax incentive remains in effect if you purchase from certain car manufacturers. One vehicle to consider that will allow you to take advantage of the full $7,500 federal tax credit is the new Ford Mustang Mach-E. But if instead you purchase an inexpensive new car that holds its resale value well, the monetary trade-off isn't all that bad. For example, a 2020 Honda Civic LX with a 6-speed transmission will cost you roughly $128 less over 5 years of ownership than buying a 2017 version, according to Kiplinger's. The numbers also look favorable for a brand new Toyota Tacoma truck when compared to its 2017 counterpart. While the difference in what you'll pay for that new car are slight, it's nice to know that you will get to enjoy the new car smell, and that you'll incur fewer maintenance issues over the coming years. The ticket to buying a used car with confidence. Purchasing a used car is often touted as buying someone else's problems. And I must admit, I've had a couple of older rides that gave me a lot of trouble. The main difference between the used cars that performed well over the years and the ones that were in the repair shop more frequently was my own due diligence. If you don't currently have a mechanic that you trust, that's an important relationship to have. Check out Car Talk's mechanic search tool to find a well-reviewed independent shop in your area. And ask if the technicians are ACE certified. That's a good sign. Also, if you need some help determining what repair costs should be for problems that arise, Consumer Reports has an excellent car repair estimator. Why the total cost of ownership trumps everything. The biggest thing you should consider when buying any car is the likely total cost of ownership. Doing a price per mile calculation gives you an apples to apples comparison of the cars you are considering. You might be surprised at the numbers you encounter as you compare potential vehicle purchases with a calculator like this one from the folks at Edmunds. For instance, one surprising calculation showed that a Tesla Model 3 has a lower total cost of ownership than a Toyota Camry. And, as I mentioned above, some lower-priced new cars will cost you less over a 5-year ownership cycle than opting for the same gently used vehicle. Buying a new car can make sense in some situations, but it almost never makes the most sense from a numbers standpoint. That is in part because of the opportunity cost associated with your purchase. That means that your new car payment will prevent you from investing your money in ways that will have a massive benefit on your financial future. If you want to dig even deeper into that decision, this opportunity cost calculator is very helpful. Putting your hard-earned money to work for you instead of sinking it into a rapidly depreciating asset will have major ramifications on your ability to achieve financial independence. The value of that money invested in index funds for the next 30 to 40 years instead of shoveling that cash towards a car payment will give you freedom and peace of mind.